Welcome to German History with a German accent. My name is Wolf, W-O-L-F, just like the animal, and in this video I'm speaking about Ewald von Kleist. Paul Ludwig Ewald von Kleist was born on August 8, 1881 in Braunfels. His family had a long tradition of military service. Ewald von Kleist joined the Prussian Field Artillery Regiment No. 3. In August 1901, he was promoted to the rank of lieutenant. In March 1914, he was promoted to the rank of captain. In World War I, he served on the Eastern Front and participated in the Battle of Tannenberg. From 1915 to 1918, he was used as a staff officer of the Guards Cavalry Division on the Western Front. After World War I, Kleist fought in the three corps: in the Iron Division, in the Latvian and Estonian Wars of Independence. Kleist joined the Reichswehr in 1920. From 1924 to 1928, he was assigned as a tactics instructor at the Hanover Cavalry School. In 1928, he served as the Chief of Staff of the 2nd Cavalry Division in Breslau. Then, from 1929 to 1931, he held the same position in the 3rd Division in Berlin. Kleist was promoted to colonel in 1931 and was given command of the 9th Prussian Infantry Regiment in Potsdam. At the beginning of 1932, he was given command of the 2nd Cavalry Division. In October 1932, he was promoted to the rank of Major General. Ewald von Kleist was a monarchist and did not heavily involve himself in the politics of the Weimar Republic. After the Nazis seized power, the Reichswehr was united with the newly formed Wehrmacht. On December 1, 1933, he was promoted to Lieutenant General. In October 1934, he was given command of the Breslau Army, which was later reorganized into the 8th Army Corps. In 1935, he was given command of the newly formed Military District 8, responsible for Silesia, while simultaneously serving as the commanding general of the 8th Army Corps. On August 1, 1936, he was promoted to General of the Cavalry. In February 1938, Ewald von Kleist was involved in the Blomberg Fridge affair and forced to retire from service when Hitler purged the army of staff who were unsympathetic to the Nazi regime. At the outbreak of the Second World War, Kleist was recalled to active duty and led the 22nd Motorized Corps in the invasion of Poland. In May 1940, Tank Group Kleist was formed, the first operational formation of several tank corps in the Wehrmacht. On May 10th, it spearheaded the German breakthrough in the Ardennes as it advanced through southern Belgium. Kleist and Guderian clashed over where the main point of effort should fall. Kleist, Guderian's immediate superior, pressed for the main point to come at Felice, further west in Sedan. Kleist argued that the blow would avoid double river crossing at the Meuse at Sedan and the Ardennes Canal to the west of Sedan. Moreover, the blow would strike at the dividing line between the French 9th Army and the French 2nd Army. Guderian saw things differently and pointed out that a thrust along these lines of Kleist's plan would put the flank of their advance within the range of a fortress artillery 16 miles northwest of Sedan. The shift of operations further north would also disperse concentration and disrupt the intense planning of the German tactical units who had been in training for the Sedan attack and an advance northwest for months. He also felt a regrouping period in front of Sedan would delay the assault for 24 hours and allow the French to bring up reinforcements. Kleist agreed that such a delay was unacceptable, so he agreed to Guderian's plan. Tank Group Kleist overwhelmed the French defenses at Sedan, advanced west and reached the sea, forming a huge pocket containing several Belgian, British, and French armies. Kleist was promoted to Colonel General on July 19, 1940, and received the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross. In April 1941, Tank Group Kleist was renamed to 1st Tank Group and spearheaded the invasion of Yugoslavia. Deployed against Central Yugoslavia, units of the 1st Tank Group were the first to enter Belgrade. In June 1941, with the launch of Operation Barbarossa, Kleist led the 1st Tank Group as part of the Army Group South and saw success in the initial phase of the invasion, advancing deep into Ukraine. The 1st Tank Group broke through the Stalin Line, then defeated the 5 mechanized corps of the 5th and 6th Soviet Army in the Battle of Brody in June 1941. In July 1941, during the Battle of Uman, the 1st Tank Group broke through the Soviet Southern Front lines, leading to the encirclement of the Soviet 6th and 12th Armies to the southeast of Uman City. During the First Battle of Kiev, which lasted from August to September 1941, the 1st Tank Group's northward turn from central Ukraine, in conjunction with the 2nd Tank Group's southward advance from Smolensk, led to the encirclement and destruction of the entire Soviet southwestern front east of Kiev, inflicting over 600,000 losses on the Red Army. The campaign had been costly. German forces had just half the tanks they had 3 months earlier. After operations at Kiev concluded, Kleist's 1st Tank Army advanced east to capture the important industrial Donbass region. On September 26, 1941, the Battle of the Sea of Azov began as the Southern Front launched an attack on the northern shores of the Sea of Azov against the German 11th Army advancing into the Crimea. On October 1st, the 1st Tank Army swept south and encircled the 2 attacking Soviet 9th and 18th Armies at Melitopol. By October 11th, both Soviet armies had been destroyed and the 1st Tank Army had taken the Donbass. The 1st Tank Army then attacked east along the shore of the Sea of Azov toward Rostov, near the mouth of the Don River, the last barrier before the Caucasus. On November 17, 1941, the German forces forced their way across the Mias River and launched an offensive against the Southern Front at Rostov. On November 19, 1941, the 1st Tank Army reached Rostov, and the following day they seized bridges over the River Don and captured the city. By December 2, 1941, the Soviet forces had counterattacked and retaken Rostov and forced the 1st Tank Army to withdraw back to the Mias River near Taganrog. This marked the first major German withdrawal of the war. On February 18, 1942, Kleist was awarded the Oak Leaves to his Knight's Cross. During the Second Battle of Kharkov on May 17, 1942, as part of Operation Frederikus, Kleist's 1st Tank Army attacked the Bavern-Kovo bridgehead from the south, advancing up 10 kilometers in the first day of the attack. On May 19th, the German 6th Army, led by General Friedrich Paulus, launched an offensive north of the bridgehead, encircling the Soviet 6th Army and the 57th Army. After 6 days of encirclement, both armies were destroyed. By May 28th, Kleist and Paulus' armies had captured 240,000 prisoners and destroyed or captured over 1,250 Soviet tanks and 2,000 artillery pieces. The summer of 1942 saw Army Group South subdivided into Army Group A and B, Army Group A, which included Kleist's First Tank Army, had the task of leading the Axis thrust into the Caucasus. Army Group A advanced deep into southern Russia, capturing Rostov, Maykop, Krasnodar, and the Kuban region. However, heavy Soviet resistance and the long distances from Axis sources of supply eventually reduced the Axis offensive to local advances only and prevented the Army Group A from capturing their ultimate objectives. On November 22, 1942, Ewald von Kleist replaced Field Marshal Wilhelm List as commander of the Army Group A. Hitler had ordered him to hold position and to resume the offense should the Axis forces take Stalingrad. This possibility ended after the Soviets launched counteroffensive which encircled the 6th German Army in Stalingrad and tried to cut off the Army Group A in the Caucasus region. However, the limited scope of the Soviet offense gave Kleist enough time to withdraw his army group in the direction of Kuban and abandoning the Caucasus. On February 1, 1943, Ewald von Kleist was promoted to the rank of General Field Marshal. In July 1943, the Red Army had launched a massive offense along the Dnieper River. By December 1943, the Soviets had conquered the west bank of the Dnieper, and Kleist's Army Group A was forced to retreat to southwest Ukraine. When the Soviets launched the Dnieper-Carpathian offense against Erich von Manstein's Army Group South, intending to capture all of the Ukrainian Moldavian territories occupied by the Axis forces. As part of the initial phase of the offense, the Soviet Third Ukrainian Front to the south launched the offense against Kleist's Army Group A. Proceeding slowly at first, the front eventually destroyed the salient projecting around Kryvyi Rih and Nikopol, costing the Germans important mining operations there, as well as nearly encircling the reformed German 6th Army. By the end of March 1944, the Soviets had recovered most of the right bank Ukraine, and the Germans were defeated with 20 divisions either destroyed, disbanded, or requiring major rebuilding, while another 60 divisions were reduced to 50% of their establishment strength. Kleist had disagreed with Hitler over the withdrawal of Army Group A during the offense. He had demanded permission to pull back his forces to more defensible positions. However, Hitler ordered his armies to stand where they were. Hitler blamed the generals for the overall strategic success of the Soviet armies.